not, if you haven't realized that, I may be helping to point you to that direction so that you get to know. Right. The insecurity in Nigeria is politically sponsored. The terror sponsor are the ones running Nigeria. There is no terror bigger than political terror, economic terror. I mean, tell me about this. That even if you are not being kidnapped by terrorists, a lot of you have already been kidnapped by your economic incapacitation. Like, for real. But here is what Tinubu is up to next. Akuri Ngalailai announced that a call will be going on, I don't know how many days, to China. Here.
His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will depart for the People's Republic of China, most specifically Beijing, from the nation's capital within the first week of September to engage in a series of meetings and activities with immediate and future benefit to the Nigerian economy and the Nigerian people. First and foremost, His Excellency Mr. President will conduct site visits to two major Chinese corporations, Huawei Technologies, as well as the China Rail and Construction Corporation, CRCC. This is with a view to achieve one of Mr. President's top agenda items, which is the completion of the Ibadan to Abuja segment of the Lagos to Kano high-speed rail line. Thereafter, His Excellency Mr. President will meet 10 selected chief executive officers of 10 major Chinese corporations with assets under management totaling over $3 trillion US dollars across multiple sectors of the economy, including information and communications technology, refining, oil and gas, aluminium production, seaport construction, harbor construction and dredging services, financial services, satellite technology development, as well as many other critical sectors. Mr. President will also meet with his Chinese counterpart in the person of President Xi Jinping, where several MOUs will be signed. The MOUs will involve agreements in deepening cooperation in the green economy, in agriculture, in satellite technology development, in media enterprise development and promotion, as well as blue economic development and national planning cooperation. This is going to be part of a broader engagement where the two heads of state will discuss matters of mutual interest across not just the economy, but also on issues of national, regional, and international security. Furthermore, His Excellency Mr. President would thereafter join the FOCAC summit, where several African heads of state will be present to engage with Chinese leaders on various important matters. At this FOCAC summit, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his capacity as the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, will deliver remarks on behalf of the region and certainly would proceed to the high-level peace and security plenary, where he will further deliver remarks on peace and security in the region and in Africa in his capacity as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This engagement is expected to yield very tangible, immediate, and future dividends for the sake of the Nigerian economy and for the benefit of the Nigerian people. And the President is placing a premium on deliverables, ensuring that this is not a talk shop, but that this is something that will yield results for our people, justifying any expenditure that is made during the course of this trip. Thank you very much.
Nuisance lele.
Akuri Nigalailai is telling you about the corporation, the Chinese corporation, they all combine resources, all the combined capital. Kilo de lori raw. Lori raw. I think they are going there to see if they can talk to some people in China. Where they help them beg Xiongzhan. You know the Xiongzhan, the people that are seizing all the Nigerian assets abroad. They allowed him to keep one, and they are keeping the rest as well. So Kolu may be going there to, China. And Akuri Negalailai was there to tell you the tale by moonlight. You will feel it later. You go feel it. They say, here is somebody's assessment, though. Dr. Odenwa. Honest opinion.
Hardly a dent, and the reasons are pretty obvious for those who care to look at this matter in a rigorous manner. Number one, if you don't get the politics right, you never get the economics right. I'm not a policy wonk. I'm not schooled in issues of microeconomics or macroeconomics or econometrics, no. But I'm very conversant with political economy of power. The Bola Tinubu presidency has abandoned the political state. In 1999, I stressed in that piece, Obasanjo won convincingly, in a way, but elected to build what we can call a lead consensus. He reached out to the other two parties, AD and APP. I was involved, and altogether put together some loose government that harmonized interests of the Nigerian elite as a prefix to building national consensus. He established the Office of Inter-Party Affairs and appointed the chairman of APP, then Senator Mahmoud, was to take charge. When the elite see that the government is inclusive and participatory, then the elite will support the government in re-engineering the economic order. But this time in 2023, I'm not tired of repeating it. This President Bola Tinubu has literally no mandate. We have 223, 230 million Nigerian citizens, or thereabout. 93 million registered with INEC. 26% of these 93 million participated in the last election. And he garnered 36.7% of the 23% of the 93 million. That is not a mandate. Sorry, Attorney General, the president has got very weak mandate. He needs, therefore, to reach out to the political leaders of this country, those who he defeated in the last presidential election, the leaders of the 3, 4, 5 major political parties, civic leaders, leaders of the media world and space and the business community. Together you can sit down to fashion policies and programs that can impact on the people. Unless you do so, it will not work.
How about the recent meeting? Sorry, how about the recent National Council of State meeting? Was that not part of the political elite, bringing them together? Then he's appointed a PDP man as FCT minister as well.
If you look at his speech after the end of the end hunger and end bad governance protests, that speech lacked 3 key elements: a convening order, intervention order, and proclamation order. He didn't proclaim anything. He didn't convene nothing, and he didn't prescribe nothing. The Council of State is an important advisory body that the president will have to brief and they will give advice. It's not their duty to pass a vote of confidence in the president or his government. The people have to do that because of the way they see their life being transformed by his policies. But like I said, those policies will not work because the level of conversation and interface with the political elite is not happening the way you are describing it. The case of FCT is unique in itself because the minister was very clear and unequivocal where he stood in the last election, who he was going to support, and the benefit that will accrue to him. So when you talk about the elite consensus, you reach the leadership of the parties who will yield those members to you, so that by the time you have them in, it will not be disruptive. They will not even see you as damaging the credibility and sovereignty and autonomy of those parties. Most crucial, if you go into the area of the policies you talked about, if you did not even have fuel subsidy removal in your speech, and they just announced it in a cavalier manner. Yes, that is audacious. That is an act of courage. You can say, you are treading where angels feared to tread in the past. But what did you have in place? Because the moment you take that squeeze out of the people's breath, every other thing will fall down. The market they go to, the garri they buy, the rice they buy, the beans they buy, the clothes the children wear, the school fees, the transportation costs, everything will skyrocket. What did you have in plan for the short term, mid term, and long term? And on top of it, you collapse the multiple windows of the forex market and narrowed it that today Naira has lost 70% of its value since that policy was enunciated, and 43% in the past 12 months. Okay. So with runaway inflation, you can't.
Policy. I like that. That is if you think all of this is not intentional, then you may be thinking of advising. I think that's where some people are like getting it wrong. Somebody once said that the elite in Nigeria, that is if they were that smart in the first place, except they agreed, I better pass my neighbor sort of a wealth, okay? Competition, if they were that smart. So somebody said they thought they were going to make it so big with Tinubu. So they decided to silently, right, help push a Tinubu's state capture. They didn't think it through that some of them are actually existing because they still had some federal protection. Tinubu is bullish and it won't spare them. And now they've discovered. So the elite you have in Nigeria, the stinking elites that you have in Nigeria, they are fighting to have their own place inside the Tinubu's chop by chop RNG regime. So if you now sit back and say the elite, the parties should reach out to them, but you don't reach out to people who in belief say are going to be useful for this or that. None of them is to kind of change the situation in Nigeria. Never. Never. The other day, we were having a chat around what their Minister of Education said. Nigeria, they believe, have over 20 million out of school children. Yeah, out of school children. And there is no policy to get them back to school. Rather, they want more policies to actually keep them out of school because they are too young to go to university. There is this guy, right? Tie. I don't know if I pronounce that right. I love his view on this. Maybe you should kind of listen to.
There is no advantage. We talk as if we are suffering from one form of selective amnesia. People will always say things to support whatever they think. It's their opinion. When has it become a problem that a Nigerian child is qualified to enter university when so long as it's below 18? That is not the problem. Do you know what the problem is? The problem is that we have 18.3 million Nigerian children that are out of school. We don't have a minister who is filled with gusto, who is carrying out spirited moves in the media to finding solution to that. His problem, his headache, is that the Nigerian child is too brilliant, and so he has to be stifled. He has to be held down because he has to attain a certain age before he goes to university. And then I'm happy that the respectable madam over there says she's not speaking from the standpoint of research. She doesn't have any data about whether there are miracle centers. She doesn't have data about exceptionally gifted Nigerian students that they want to deprive of their right to growth. You think the idea that a child is able to pass exams because when he's 14, the exams that adults could not pass, but he passed out at 14, you think it's because he did exam malpractice? No, it's as a result of discipline that many adults don't have. You think that age is a matter, you think that it determines maturity? People put in a whole lot of parents that we know put in a whole lot to discipline their children, whereas others don't. And then the ones who learn, who are able to express themselves, we in Africa, it's our joy to hold them down as if we hate our children. We keep on having stories, at least make recommendations that, it is proper for the children to go to school when they attain 18. But don't come and make it compulsory. Don't come and impose it. Initially, they said it was a matter of law. I asked which law. So you have to turn the JAMB Act upside down to be able to find out that the minister can give directives. So we have agreed it's a directive. So, Honorable Minister, what is your problem? What do you have against Nigerian students or children if they are brilliant enough? Madam, again, I ask you in more pointed terms, which miracle centers produce children? Miracle centers are for people who have failed, mainly adults. We are dealing with a situation where our girls don't go to school, but they can be married off on underage, and our boys are more interested in business, incubation, and they don't go to school. We're dealing with real issues, and then you are telling me that Nigerian children should be held down. You keep mentioning other countries that they have a minimum. Look, if you mention countries, please say it in wholesome terms. The point is that it is recommended that a child goes to school at a certain age, but if there are exceptions to it, and it is with the children pass exams in very exceptional terms. Don't forget that we are in this country, and the legal minimum for entry into university in this country for a very long time has been 16 years. It was changed when the federal government adopted the 6334 system, and the idea was to de-emphasize the white-collar jobs so that persons who graduate from JS3 can go and do vocational work, not necessarily because there was anything wrong for a 16-year-old to get into school. Why do we deceive ourselves? And we always do these things in a politically correct manner. We have something else in our mind, but we come and say, oh, it is a matter of law. It's no longer a matter of law. It's a matter of preference that we are against our children. Please, I will recommend very strongly to the Honorable Minister to listen to the highly respected Afe Babalawa SAN in his article in the Tribune, where with a lot of wisdom, advising the federal government not to go too far. Look at ASU. ASU is now cherry picking and being politically correct. One way they will say, oh, we need university autonomy. We should determine the fate of how our university, the standards of how our university should operate. So before that, it is the Senate of the universities that make recommendation as to the legal minimum age of entrance. Today, it is now a federal matter. I see the federal government does not have enough issues to bother. You wonder why we talk about issues of true federalism? So we are now going to take away the right of university senate to determine whether the age of a child to enter university, even when he's exceptionally brilliant. We have data, statistics of young children who enter the university at 14, turn out at 20, they are graduates. They are medical doctors, some of them are professors. But in Africa, and particularly Nigeria, that leads the way back on a backward reverse terms, is to keep those children there until they are recruited to become child soldiers. Look, my critics tell me that I get emotional about these issues, but because I can't understand why a country, a president, a minister will sit down, leave 18 million children that are not in school, and then now begin to bother himself why children who are qualified to go to school should not go, but they should go and play, they should go and be watching video games and doing all sorts of things. What a country, for goodness sake. But look, we should tell ourselves the truth, and not say in semantic manner and then come and justify one sort of things as a there is no advantage.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people are proving people should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger, because some people will be at indoor. There's no a way to make our own life.
The greatest speech ever given. That should be the Wole Soyinka of this generation. You won't understand if you don't go into, you have to calm down. You have to listen to each word by word. You will get them. And if you don't get it, forget about it. I had this sister who was like, she took to her own TikTok. to rant about the lifestyle of the children of Nigerian politicians. Jumi, Temi, Chinasa, Chioma, Aliyah, or that name again. Your papa be thief. They thief public money. Now you are now presenting yourself on social media as a travel vlogger, a YouTuber, a travel. They have names they give to themselves. Oh, hi, my name is Temi Otedola, and no, I shouldn't use Temi. Abi, I like Temi. I'm gonna use her. Papa be the same, they be the same. Hi, my name is Temi Otedola. I am a travel vlogger. So I want you to come to me to Santorino or Santorini. I want to show you Santorini. Oh, I want to show you all of that too. Oh, yeah, I'm on my way to the airport. There is a limousine waiting to take me to the airport. So I've got my hair made by Toymax here, right there in Dublin, in Ireland, just 2 nights ago. I came to Lagos to come and eat a pap and akara. Then tomorrow morning, I will be arriving at Santorini, Italy. So are you ready? So we're gonna go to my dad's private jet. Politician Peking. They do travel vlogger. Come on. Then you have somebody Peking somewhere. If he be Kofu, my daughter. Hi, daddy. What would you like to become? What's your dream? Kofogu don't see Temi. Kofogu can say he wants to be a travel vlogger. Baba, Ibo motivero. You know that kind of thing. Now, so this lady went on a TikTok like, what is all this, And some people, typical Nigerians who have now become so used to their oppressors. Shut up your mouth. They were born into wealth. Abi were near. Majority of those who are looting you today, if they were not in secondary school, if they were not in university, I'd be secondary school for those ones who went to school. Majority of them were nowhere to be found. They are now multi-billionaires who stole your money for 25 years. Which money then burn them inside? Anyway, my sister, your rant is legit. And that's why I want to share that with all of you.
One day, when you guys are finally ready, we'll be able to sit down and talk about the pandemic that is Nigerian political Nepo babies. Like, you will see them on TikTok here acting like, oh, they're influencers. Like, oh, I'm based abroad and I'm just a Nigerian influencer. Get ready with me to travel to Santorini for 2 days because I just felt like I missed the beach. The people in your father's state do not have stable light. And some people in your father's state have not eaten in 2 days and are doing dry fast because they don't have food. I'm sorry, like, it's not like, oh, I'm jealous or like, well, I kind of am, but still, it's just hella tone deaf. And I'm just like, are their parents not telling? I don't know, because I saw somebody on Twitter say, oh, they start jumping there whenever they go to Jand. I'm not saying that you should, but like, it's so insufferable sometimes. To those of you that are sitting there in the comments saying, what should they do? I refuse to believe that you have gone through life and you are this age while being this stupid. I refuse to believe that your brain is just generally this oblong mass of just cells and nonsense, just crap in your brains. Because it's a glaringly obvious option on what they should do, which is to stop flaunting this world so disgustingly. Like, you guys are talking about it's not their fault. They were born into the money. But are you daft? Have you ever seen any of them stand up and say, oh, let's go and donate to this? They've never used their platform for anything good. They've never donated to anything good at all. Ever. These people do not care about you. Those of you defending them with your left breast and your left testicles, they don't care about you. They don't care. Somebody has lied to you somewhere. I told you they can reach their level one day. You can't. You cannot. Except if you are one of them in my comments. And this is not a safe space for you. I'm very, very sorry. There are so many of them that their fathers cannot even boast that, oh, my child attended a school in my own senatorial district. Some of them cannot boast that their child attended a school in their own states. Some of them cannot boast that their child attended a school, a single level of school, primary, secondary, kindergarten. They cannot boast that their child attended any form of schooling in Nigeria. Are you expect me to feel bad for these people? Fuck no! Like, what do you think this is? What? Like, fine, they were born into money. Cool. The ones that irritates me the most, I think, is the ones that they just cut the father's name out of their social media like this. They will carve it out. You will not even know that. The governor of what? You will not even know that they're picking at all. You will not know. You have no idea. You'll be looking at the person, you used to be like, oh my God, this lifestyle cost. How can you reach this lifestyle? They will go and tell you, oh, click the link in my bio. I will teach you how to. Oh God, I'm not father. They will tell you to click the link in their bio to learn. Or they'll be like, oh my God, it's God. Oh, it is the devil. It is not God. Thought that we fight. Like, they will have the name of the father. They will just completely dispose of the name. But we can obviously tell that it's the father's blood money that is funding this lifestyle, because you have 20K followers on YouTube and you have how many on Instagram and how many on TikTok. How much are they paying you that you're traveling to Greece? Please tell me, please break it down for me, because I'm not understanding here. Because the mathematics is not mathematics. Because you've cut out your father's name away from all your social medias now until it's time for him to pay for your extravagant wedding with somebody else's nepotism son. Abi? Huh? Okay? That's what you want to do. Go ahead. One day when you guys are finally ready,
you won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London.